Takuto is a terminally ill young boy who spends most of his time engrossed in a civilization-building strategy game known as Eternal Nations. One day, after achieving everything in the game and beginning a new session, he peacefully passes away. He feels as though he's sinking into a void of darkness, and when he opens his eyes, he finds himself seated on a stone throne amidst a dense forest. He's bewildered by the situation, but soon a familiar presence emerges. Takuto instantly recognizes the woman before him as Atu, the sludge-like entity who was his most beloved character in Eternal Nations. He recalls choosing the most challenging route in the game by selecting the Kingdom of Ruin and Darkness, Minogra, as his starting nation. Thankfully, it came with Atu, a character initially very weak but capable of absorbing the abilities of her fallen foes, and ultimately becoming immensely powerful. Atu addresses him as her king, prompting Takuto to wonder if this is an elaborate roleplay scenario he's supposed to go along with. But Atu reassures him, there's no need to overthink. She already knows everything about him, his name, and even the fact that he's never experienced the outdoors. He was a master-level gamer who completed the game on nightmare difficulty using the trickiest faction. Takuto is shocked that she knows not only about being a character within the game, but also his identity as a player. Atu explains that she remembers every one of their sessions, his strategies, his words through the screen, and even the more passionate things he did in her name. Takuto is overjoyed to be speaking face-to-face with his favorite in-game companion, but Atu insists she is even happier. He asks if this is heaven, wondering if she summoned him here, but she reveals that she too was summoned to this world. It strongly resembles the world of Eternal Nations. She then kneels and clasps his hand, stating that since they're together, the location doesn't matter. She proposes they join forces once more to create a civilization for just the two of them. Still stunned, Takuto is pulled down from his throne by Atu, who reminds him of their countless conquests. She encourages him to view this as a fresh start. Embracing the idea, Takuto commands her to serve him in the creation of a glorious empire, and she gleefully accepts. Pretending to be a mighty sorceress, she pledges loyalty with flair, though both end up cringing at their own over-the-top dramatics. Takuto reminds Atu what their first move should be in Minogra. She confirms it. They'll become reclusive and conceal their existence from the world. Takuto then uses his emergency skill to summon a massive insect scout to survey the nearby territory. They reaffirm their core rule, stay hidden during the early stages, and scouts like this are key for gathering intel covertly. He sends the creature off and it zips away to complete its mission. Atu is taken aback at how well things are going in this unfamiliar world. Takuto explains that he can still share the bug's vision, just like in the game. He's already used half his mana to create the scout and wishes he had enough to summon a guardian, but right now that's impossible. Atu grows worried. She's currently weak and unable to protect herself, let alone him. Nonetheless, Takuto continues exploring via the bug's perspective, seeing nothing but dense woodland. Atu, disheartened by her helplessness, finds comfort when Takuto tells her that just having her there is enough. She beams with happiness. Suddenly, the bug spots a group of weary, malnourished dark elves. Atu remarks that this is good news. Dark elves are a neutral faction, albeit slightly aligned with neutral evil. Their kingdom, too, is aligned with Loki, neutral evil. The discovery unsettles Takuto. He begins questioning whether this world really mirrors Eternal Nations, worrying that the presence of another faction could mean doom for his kingdom. Atu reassures him. If danger arises, they'll simply escape together. Takuto agrees and decides to keep an eye on the elves while continuing to scout. As the elves perform rituals and celebrations, some of them unexpectedly approach Takuto and Atu. The encounter is mutual shock. Atu instinctively prepares to risk her life for her master's safety. The elven leader, Jia, was on a mission to find sustenance for his starving clan. His assistant had warned him that the forest was cursed, rumored to be home to a sealed evil, but he pressed forward out of necessity. When he sees Takuto and Atu, he perceives them as avatars of darkness. To him, Takuto appears as a shadowy silhouette, confirming the legends. Fearing annihilation, Jia drops to his knees and introduces himself. His followers do the same. He begs forgiveness for trespassing. Atu puts on a tough persona, saying it's good they recognize their place, and demands to know why they came. Jia begins a sob story, but Atu, growing impatient, intimidates him into cutting to the chase. He reveals that his tribe was exiled unjustly by the council and now faces persecution. When Takuto asks whether they've suffered greatly, Gia freezes. Atu prompts him again and he admits their food ran out a week ago and they're now starving. Takuto, moved by their plight, tosses some apples to them. Gia has never seen apples before and hesitates, but his companions devour them with delight. Takuto summons more fruit, pears this time, leaving Gia awestruck. Atu demands to know why Gia isn't eating and he bows, explaining that his people, especially the children, should eat first. Takuto, touched, produces a vast feast using his magic, much to Atu's dismay and Gia's disbelief. Dark elves are rarely treated with kindness. Gia, overwhelmed, asks who Takuto really is. Takuto simply instructs him to take the food back to his people. Gia and the others return to camp, finally able to eat to their heart's content. Gia, however, hides how he acquired the food. That night, an elder joins him by the fire. The elder notes that the fruits were unlike anything he's seen and inquires about their origin. Gia recounts his meeting with the supposed evil being. The elder is stunned. Gia had met the King of Ruin, a figure from ancient texts said to bring about destruction when the world becomes too crowded. Though Gia doesn't truly understand Takuto's words, he pieced things together from Atu's behavior. Skeptical, the elder asks whether Gia gave Takuto anything in return. When Gia says no, the elder doubts Takuto's mercy. Yet Gia insists Takuto was compassionate. The elder is initially angry at his reverence for an evil being, but eventually acknowledges Gia's effort and success.
He then declares that, as the eldest Dark Elf, he will personally negotiate with the so-called Dark King, in hopes of finally securing the peaceful life their tribe has long desired. Meanwhile, Atu scolds Takuto for recklessly using mana on the elves, but when he tells her not to be upset because he needs her, she softens instantly and starts acting all affectionate again.